If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop coming up with radically new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5, isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say.
On the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher, the host delivered another scorching takedown of what he sees as the left's obsession with woke fantasies, warning that while America stands at a fragile crossroads, the political divide is stretching wider than ever. Maher argues that the country can only live up to its founding promise if the left abandons its fixation on ideological purity, because that obsession is dragging the nation away from unity. His tone was sharp, direct, and impossible to tune out. He jumped straight to the point, saying the only hope left is for the left to drop its extreme woke crusades, while the right must halt its slide toward authoritarianism. Before playing the clip, the narrator sides firmly with Maher, insisting that if the left truly wants reconciliation, they need to let go of the constant push for radical cultural agendas. This isn't about muting progressive thought. It's about acknowledging that the current path is dividing Americans rather than bringing them together. And while Maher admits the right isn't spotless, he makes one point brutally clear. Much of today's political dysfunction stems from the left's unwillingness to compromise. And he's just getting started proving
As it is so late in the game, let's just go right to the granddaddy of bargains now. The left will seriously quash all their loony woke, and the right will stop the slide into autocracy. That's really the only card left to play.
Maher takes off the gloves completely, declaring that the woke left has drifted far from reality, detached, and choosing ideology over common sense. What makes it worse, he says, is that even the intellectuals aligned with them, scientists, cultural thinkers, academics, seem to have surrendered logic in favor of protecting a narrative. It's as if basic reasoning has been tossed aside and replaced with dogmas that crumble under the slightest challenge. You listen to their arguments, their moral crusades, their self-righteous prescriptions for society, and all you can do is stare in disbelief. Nothing seems grounded. Nothing aligns with reality, yet somehow, they always manage to twist logic into bizarre shapes to defend positions that make no sense. Maher's message lands hard when an entire movement trades rational thinking for fantasy. The outcome isn't progressive disorder, parading as moral.
The basic problem we have in America is conservatives think the liberals are insane, and they're not completely wrong. Now, I don't think most liberals are insane, but neither do they make it clear they disapprove of the ones who are, and their cowardice in not marginalizing their own crazies has been their downfall. I couldn't get Neil deGrasse Tyson, a genius scientist and preeminent scientific voice in the media, to agree that it was ridiculous for Scientific American and The Atlantic to be claiming that separating sports by sex doesn't make sense. Yes, it does. Actually, it makes perfect sense.
Moral virtuenti RVIW3 Maher pushes deeper, asking how anyone can seriously claim gender is nothing but a social invention, when biology, science, and basic observation clearly show that men and women have natural differences that shape how we interact with the world. These distinctions aren't hallucinations. They are facts, obvious and undeniable. Yet the woke left tries to silence that discussion, treating simple truths as if they're offensive. The issue intensifies when he raises the point about kids who aren't considered mature enough to drive, vote, or buy alcohol, yet are encouraged to make irreversible medical decisions with lifelong consequences. Question that, and suddenly you're branded the extremist. It's a warped reversal of logic, exposing how ideology has overtaken reason. Maher's point hits home. Ignoring biological realities and pulling children into ideological battles isn't kindness, it's reckless. Dangerous delusion.
And there's a lot of stuff like that on the left. And when conservatives see it, they say, I'm sorry, we're just not going to go along with reinventing society, often pointlessly, even if we have to cancel democracy to do it. That's what they're saying. They see gender as only a construct and sex is assigned at birth, and they say, we're not doing that. transing kids by self-diagnosis with no age limit, no parental notification, and no acknowledgement of social contagion, not doing